Good evening, class. Good evening. Good evening, class.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. So today we'll be discussing pioneer incentive. We'll be discussing pioneer incentive. What is pioneer incentive? Pioneer incentive is a tax incentive given to a multinational company. They are tax incentives that are granted or given to a multinational company in which their profit will be exempted from tax. Their profit will be exempted from tax for a given period of time in order to attract foreign investment. Their profit will be exempted from tax for a given period of time in order to attract foreign investment. So what we mean by that is there are some companies, we call them pioneer companies. There are some companies, we call them pioneer companies. They are pioneer companies in the sense that their profit that they derive for about 3 years, they will not pay company income tax and education tax on such kind of profit. Such profit will be exempted from tax. So they are pioneer company. So what pioneer incentive simply means is it's a tax incentive that is granted to a multinational company or a foreign company that is coming to invest in Nigeria, in which their profit will be exempted from tax for a given period of time. Why do we give them tax incentive? In order to attract foreign direct investment, in order to encourage economic growth and development. So we are giving them tax incentive. That period in which they will not pay tax, which is initial period of 3 years, while additional period of 2 years, if granted, that period they are called tax holiday. The period in which pioneer company will not pay tax, it is called tax holiday. In that period, the period they will first give them first 3 years. If they perform very well, they will give them additional 2 years. So such kind of period is called tax holiday. Such period is called tax holiday. What are the considerations to qualify for a pioneer status? What are the considerations for a company to qualify for a pioneer status? For a company to qualify for a pioneer status, what are the conditions? In granting pioneer status to a company, the applicant must demonstrate tangible impacts on its activities we have on Nigeria economic diversity and growth. So the following factor will be considered if government want to give a company pioneer status. Number one factor is employment generation. Will the company provide employment to the citizen of the country? Will the company provide employment if they establish this kind of company? Is it going to increase employment opportunity? If that, they will give them pioneer status. Value addition. Another one, value addition. Value addition simply means what value, apart from employment generation, will this company that we want to be giving pioneer status contribute to the country? What value is it going to contribute to the country? Another one, they will consider the local content. They will consider what? The local content. They will consider the local content. Aside that, they will also consider that if this company is granted pioneer status, is it going to increase? Is it going to okay? If this company is granted pioneer status, is it going to increase the employment opportunity? Is it going to improve the employment opportunity? They also consider that. Those are the factors that also need to be considered. That this company, if I grant them pioneer status, if Nigeria government grant them pioneer status, is it going to increase the export activities? Is it going to increase the export activities? So another factor that will be considered, does the company will contribute to sustainable development? Yeah? If this company is granted pioneer status, is it going to increase sustainable development in the country? Example of sustainable development, is it going to ensure that there is more school, there is provision of water, there is good road, there is electricity to the community, if we grant this company pioneer status? So what pioneer status simply means, if a company is giving pioneer status, in the year, at least the 3 years, they will not pay tax, they will not pay income tax, they will not pay company income tax, they will not pay education tax. So the next thing is procedure for application for pioneer status incentive. As a company, if you want to apply for pioneer status, what are the procedures you must follow? Number one, application must be made in written for the pioneer status. And that application will be submitted to the Nigeria Investment Promotion Council. As a company, you want to apply for pioneer status, you have to make a written application, and your application must be addressed to Nigeria Investment Promotion Council. And in your application, you will provide evidence that you have met all the requirements that a company will be required for the company to be granted pioneer status. You have met all the requirements that a company will be required for the company to be granted pioneer status. Another application procedure is request for a date to present the project to NIPC. You will now fix a date where you present your feasibility study report to NIPC. that you tell them your company overview, the kind of product you wish to be producing in Nigeria. Another one, you provide project profile, the kind of project you want to be producing in Nigeria, and you also give them the detail of your share capital and non-tangible assets. Non-tangible assets, you give them the detail. After giving them the detail, once NIPC review your application, if they certify with your application and they see that you meet all the requirements, and they look at your project analysis, telling them the kind of product you want to be producing in Nigeria. After that, they will now tell you to go and make payment, request for payment. After they have conducted their due diligence, you will now make payments. You will make a payment. So if you want to make the payment, application fee for Pioneer Startup, you will pay 200,000. Due diligence fee, 500,000. Making 700,000. Once you have made the payments, the next step is for the NIPC to submit your documents for review. Once they review your document, once they are satisfied with it, they will conduct a verification visit to your office. Once they visit your office and they are certified, they will now ask you to pay a service charge of 2.5 million. Once you pay the service charge, they will give you approval in principle. It means they have approved your Pioneer status. So they have approved your Pioneer status. They will give you approval in principle. It means they have approved your Pioneer status. So once your Pioneer status has been approved, your production date will start. Your production date will start. Production date means the period, the date in which the Pioneer status commences. Production date is the period in which the Pioneer status commences. When you commence your Pioneer status, is the production date. They will give you production day certificate that as of today, your Pioneer status commences. So it means if your Pioneer status is 1st of January 2021, it means if it is 3 years Pioneer, it's going to expire 30th December 2023. Your production date, if you started 1st of January 2021, it means that Pioneer status is going to expire 31st of December 2023. So those are the procedures for application for Pioneer status. And mind you, during that 3 years, you will not pay company income tax, you will not pay education tax, but you are required to be filing return to FRS. That return that you'll be filing to FRS is called annual performance report. The return you will be filing to FRS is called annual performance report. When you are filing your return to FRS, and you must file your return every year, not later than June, 30th of June of the following year. Why filing your return? You will submit your audited account to FRS, audited financial statement. You submit it to FRS, and that your audited financial statement is going to show the statement of financial performance. It's going to show the number of your employee. It's going to show the training cost. It's going to show the kind of raw material you are using. It's going to show your assets. So, the return that you are filing to FRS during the pioneer period is called what? Annual performance report. And these are the content of annual performance report. Covering letter, audited financial statements, production and financial performance, number of employee and emolument, training costs, skill and technology. Now, implication of non-submission of annual performance report. If you don't submit annual performance report to FRS and NIPC, that your pioneer certificate, that your pioneer status will be cancelled. Assuming you have spent 1 year, after the 1 year, you did not submit your annual performance report at 30th of June of the following year, after the 1 year, FRS and NIPC will cancel your pioneer status. It means you are not going to enjoy 3 years tax holiday again. You will not enjoy 3 years tax holiday again. Your pioneer status will be revoked from you as a company because you failed to file annual return. What are the certificates issued during pioneer status? What are the certificates issued during pioneer status? What are those certificates issued during pioneer status? Number one certificate that is issued during pioneer status is production day certificate. Number one is what? Production day what? Certificate. Production day certificate means a certificate given to you to show when your pioneer status commence. A certificate given to you to show when your pioneer status will commence. Another certificate that will be given to you is called pioneer certificate. Pioneer certificate is the real certificate. It's the one that will show that you are not going to pay company income tax and education tax for 3 years. And your company is into production of goods that will promote economic growth and development. Now, the next thing that we need to look at is cancellation of pioneer certificates. What are the conditions in which pioneer certificate can be cancelled? You have been given a pioneer certificate. What are the conditions where your pioneer certificate will be cancelled? Number one condition is where the production date is extended for more than 1 year, later than the date stated in the original application. Where the production date is extended for more than 1 year, stated for more than 1 year, later than the date stated in the company original application for pioneer certificate. What this one means is that you are giving certificates, you are giving a production date that start your pioneer incentive, pioneer holiday on 1st of January 2021. It means you will start producing goods and services on 1st of January 2021. What kind of goods and services you are producing, you will not pay tax in the next 3 years. Now, when you fail, you're supposed to start production in 1st of January 2020. You did not produce. You did not do any business. You understand? It means your production day, you do not start producing. The law said if you did not produce more than 1 year after from the date in which your production day is given to you, it means that company is not serious for them to apply for pioneer certificate. So such kind of after 1 year, if they observe that you have not started using your pioneer certificate, you have not started production, they will revoke the certificate. They will revoke it. They will collect the certificate back. Because what is the essence of giving you certificate? The essence is by giving you certificate to start production, you should be producing goods and services that will promote economic development. Most of the goods and services produced by pioneer company, they are the goods that are imported into the country. In order to reduce importation, they now give you a pioneer status that start producing this good so that the price of the good can reduce. So that we can, as in Nigeria, we can be exporting such kind of goods. They now give you a certificate. They give you a production certificate that start producing. After 1 year, you have not been producing. They will revoke the certificate. That is condition 1. Condition 2, where the value of qualified capital expenditure under your production day is less than the minimum prescribed value. As a company, for you to apply for pioneer certificate, your qualified capital expenditure must not less than 100 million. As at now, your qualified capital expenditure must not less than what? 100 million. When they now give you a certificate that start producing, they now observe that when you start your production, they observe that your qualified capital expenditure is less than 100 million. They will revoke the certificate. They will revoke the certificate. The certificate will be revoked. Another condition is where the pioneer company, that company that applied for pioneer certificate, apply for cancellation by themselves. They think that we don't need this pioneer certificate again.
Hello, sir. I have a question, sir.
Okay.
In a situation where the company that applied for pioneer certificates was unable to commence business due to some probably natural factor, take for example like COVID, will the tax authority cease or cancel their pioneer certificates?
If it is more than 1 year from the date of production, as is law. If it is more than 1 year, the day that they expect you to start production, to start commencement of business, if it is more than 1 year, they will cancel the certificate. However, assuming we are in the period of COVID, that one is an excuse that is tenable. because of COVID-19. If a company did not start production on time, it is justifiable. Because of COVID-19, they cannot revoke the certificate. Because we know that COVID-19, virtually all the companies were asked to lock down. And assuming the company want to import some equipment that they will use to produce, because of COVID-19, they can't import the equipment. In such kind of situation, the company certificate will not be revoked because the conditions that happen is beyond the control of the company. It's not due to their negligence. It's beyond their control. So as a result of that, they cannot revoke their certificates. Hope my question is your question is answered.
Yeah, very clear, sir. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Now, the condition C is when the company by themselves, that pioneer company, apply for cancellation by themselves, when they feel that after 1 year, what benefit are we deriving for this pioneer certificate? Let's apply for cancellation. In that case, the certificate will be revoked. Another one, where the pioneer company has contravened the Pioneer Act. Pioneer Act is called IDA. IDA means Industrial Development Act. It is the Pioneer Act, where the company have contravened some provision in the Pioneer Act. The certificate will be revoked. Another condition, when the company failed to submit annual performance report for any year. Annual performance report means when the company fails to submit to file annual return by 30th of June to FRS and NIPC. Because in this pioneer status, there are two regulatory authorities, FRS and what? NIPC. NIPC is under Ministry of Industry. It is the Minister of Industry that will carry the pioneer certificate to the president to sign. So the regulatory authority under pioneer incentive are NIPC, FRS. So when you fail to submit annual performance report, in such case, your pioneer certificate can be revoked. Okay, somebody raise hand. Any question?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Okay.
So concerning the filing of the returns, right? You said something about it being June. Is it fixed to be June or 6 months after the accounting date of the company?
6 months after the accounting date of the company.
Okay.
Now, I said the initial tax holiday period for the pioneer status is how many years?
3 years, sir.
3 years. The company has a right to apply for additional 2 years. The company has a right to apply for what? Additional 2 years. What are the conditions for extension of pioneer period? They want to extend it from 3 years. They want to add additional 2 years. What are the conditions? Number one, application must be made in written, and you address it to Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission. That application, you must send the letter to them not later than 1 month after the expiration of what? Initial tax holiday. After the not later than 1 month after the expiration of the initial 3 years, you will send application for extension to them. Number 3, condition. The particular of qualified capital expenditure incurred by the company by that date must be stated. You need to give them the detail of your assets again. Number 4, you need to do a report that will show the level of development and expansion that your product that you are producing has contributed to the country. The level of development that product has contributed to the country. You must show them. Once you fulfill all those conditions, your certificate will be extended. They will give you additional 2 years. They will give you additional what? 2 years. What are the tax incentives available to this pioneer company? What are the tax incentives available to the pioneer company? Tax incentive available to a pioneer company or pioneer industry. Number 1, the profit of a pioneer company during that pioneer period, during that 3 years, their profit will be exempted from tax. The type of tax they are exempted for: company income tax and what? Education tax. The profits of a company, of a pioneer company during the pioneer period will be what? Exempted from tax. Another incentive any amount of loss or net loss incurred by the pioneer company during the pioneer period shall be available for relief against other period, against post-pioneer period. In this topic, period is divided into 3. We have pre-pioneer period, we have during pioneer period, we have post-pioneer period. What this incentive too is saying that during that pioneer period, during that 3 years, if you make a loss, if you are not making profit, if you make a profit, you will not pay tax. But if you make a loss, that loss you make during that 3 years will serve as a relief after the pioneer period. First, you will come and relieve it after the pioneer period, which is the post-pioneer. The loss that you incur during the pioneer period will be relieved against any profit arising after the pioneer period. Another one. Qualified capital expenditure that you purchase or you incur during the pioneer period. Qualified capital expenditure that you incur during the pioneer period. You know, yes, it's not subjected to capital allowance computation because you are not paying profit during the pioneer period. Some kind of qualified capital expenditure we assume to be incurred in the first day of the post-pioneer period so that you can claim capital allowance on it. Assuming during the pioneer period, you purchase qualified capital expenditure during the pioneer period. Since you cannot claim capital allowance during pioneer period because you are not paying capital income tax, you are not paying any tax, that purchase of the qualified capital expenditure that you purchase during pioneer will be assumed to have been purchased in the first day after the pioneer period. So, and you can now compute capital allowance on it. Another tax incentive, provision of commencement of new business is to be applied on the profit of post-pioneer period in arriving at accessible profit. What this one is saying that after the pioneer period, we are now going to apply commencement through to the post-pioneer period. After that 3 years that you enjoy tax holiday has expired, we are now going to apply commencement through to the company that company just commence a new business after the pioneer period. Commencement through we apply after the pioneer period that this company is a new company. No. After the 3 years, assuming the 3 years of pioneer period is 2021, 2022, 2023, it means 2024 accounts is going to be assessed to tax based on commencement through. Do we understand? Do you understand? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Another tax incentive, dividend payout by payout from pioneer profit. That profit that you make during pioneer period, that pioneer period profit, any dividend that you pay out from it to your shareholder, such kind of dividend will not be subjected to withholding tax. Such kind of dividend will not be subjected to what? Withholding tax.
Please, sir, I have a question.
Okay.
So we're talking about the incentives, right? Of pioneer legislation, of pioneer status. So, and then you mentioned something about the commencement, like the business being treated as under commencement through after the period of pioneer status. So I want to ask, is there any incentive attached to commencement rules?
Yes. Incentive is applied to commencement through. What are the incentives applied to a new company that just commenced a business? Do you know condition for exemption for minimum tax?
No, sir.
If a company is going to want to be exempted from minimum tax, what are the conditions? All companies in their first 4 years of operation, a new company will not be subjected to minimum tax. It's an incentive. So when a company just commences a business, when we are applying commencement to, such company enjoy incentive, because such company, if they make a loss from the commencement, they will not pay minimum tax. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So dividend payout from the pioneer profit to the shareholder will be exempted from withholding tax. So those are the tax incentives. We have 5 tax incentives available to a pioneer company or pioneer industry. Now, 1.9, let's talk about commencement and cessation provision for pre and post pioneer period. You know, I told you this pioneer status, when we talk about period, we divide the period into how many?
Into 3, sir.
Into 3. Pre-pioneer, before the pioneer, during the pioneer, and what? Post-pioneer. Some companies, they have been paying tax. They have been doing business before they apply for pioneer status. It's not all just a new company that will apply for pioneer status. Some companies have been in existence before. They have been doing business. They have been paying tax. They now realize that, this is our product that we are producing, and it's creating a lot of impact to the economy. It's reducing importation. It's encouraging exportation. Well, we too, our product is listed as part of product that can enjoy pioneer. So let's go and apply. Such companies, they have been doing business before. They have been paying tax for some number of years. In such company, the profits that they make before they started the pioneer period is pre-pioneer profit. And that period is pre-pioneer period. What do we need in the pre-pioneer period? We are going to apply cessation rule to a year before the pioneer period. A profit arising from a year before the pioneer period, cessation rule will apply to it. It means such companies, they have been doing business. You understand? Immediately they give them a pioneer certificate and they want to start their 3 years pioneer holiday. The business they have been doing before, we are going to compute cessation rule for them. We are going to assume that business cease operation. So a profit before the first year of pioneer period will be computed based on what? Cessation rule. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That company, their pre-pioneer period, a year, the last year of their pre-pioneer period, that last year, assuming company have been in the system, they have been doing business, they have done business for 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Their pioneer certificate, their pioneer holiday started in 2021. What we are saying is for 2020, we are going to apply cessation rule to the profit of that 2020 because it's the year before the pioneer period. We are going to assume the company cease operation in that 2020. We are going to assume a new business commence in 2021, which is the pioneer period, tax holiday. So that is that. And we also know that for the post-pioneer period, we are going to use commencement rule. for the post-pioneer period. So you can be asked, what group do we use for pre-pioneer period? What group do we use for post-pioneer period? We are going, so who can answer that?
So we use cessation rule for pre-pioneer period and commencement rule for post-pioneer period.
Post-pioneer period. Yes. The company is going to pay tax in pre-pioneer period. They will also pay tax in post-pioneer period. During pioneer period, does the company pay tax?
No, sir, they don't.
Okay, so that is that. If the company make a loss during the pioneer period, what will happen to the loss?
They will carry it forward to the post-pioneer.
To the
Sir?
post-pioneer period.
Yes.
So now let's talk more on this pre-pioneer period. Pre-pioneer period, there is a lot of issues on pre-pioneer period. There is a lot of what? Issues on what? On the pre-pioneer period. In the pre-pioneer period, assuming the company has unrelieved losses, assuming the company has unrelieved losses in the pre-pioneer period, what will happen to the unrelieved losses? If a company has unreleased losses in the pre-pioneer period, and you know that the last year of pre-pioneer period, we want to apply cessation rule, such loss in that last year that the company has unrelieved losses that they have in the last year of the pre-pioneer period, such loss will be unclaimed loss. That loss will be lapsed. You cannot claim it again. It's finally lost, unrecouped loss. You cannot claim it again. That is final loss. If you have any loss brought forward to the pre-pioneer period, to the last day of the pre-pioneer period, such loss, you cannot carry it forward to the pioneer period or to the post-pioneer period. Such loss is a final loss. You cannot relieve it against any profit again. Do you understand? The loss in the cessation of business is called terminal loss. That terminal loss is a final loss. You cannot relieve it against any profit again. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, we are talking of loss. What about capital allowance, unrelieved capital allowance in the pre-pioneer period? In the last year of the pre-pioneer period, which is the cessation year, if you have unrelieved capital allowance, what will be the treatment? That terminal capital allowance that we have in the last year of the pre-pioneer period, that terminal capital allowance that we have in the last year of pre-pioneer period, that terminal capital allowance, we are going to apply, is going to be carried backward for maximum of 5 years. That terminal capital allowance is going to be what? Carry what? Backward. You have heard of capital allowance carry backward?
Yes, sir.
I think Mr. Chris has discussed that.
Yes, I did.
And he has solved a question on that. Yeah?
Sir?
He has solved a question on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So capital allowance carry backward. So capital allowance in the last year of pre-pioneer period is going to be carried backward to maximum of what? 5 years. So that is what we need to know on pre-pioneer period. The next heading, treatment of losses and capital allowance of the pioneer period. I've explained that any losses made during the pioneer period is going to be carried forward to the post-pioneer period. Any capital allowance incurred during the pioneer period, any qualified capital expenditure incurred during the pioneer period is going to be carried forward. Is going to be assumed to have been incurred in the first day of what? Post-pioneer period. Now, the next thing that we need to talk is restriction applicable to a pioneer industry. Restriction applicable to a pioneer company. Number one restriction is non-pioneer products during pioneer period. You are given a pioneer certificate to be producing textile. That is the pioneer product. During that pioneer period, during that 3 years, if you produce any other good that is not textile, you understand? If you produce any other good, any other product that is not your pioneer product, the profit that you realize from such kind of good will be subjected to tax during that pioneer period. If you have, so it can be asked, what is the treatment of non-pioneer products during pioneer period? Profit arising from non-pioneer products will be subjected to what? Tax. If you are producing any pioneer or non-pioneer products, such kind of profit arising from that non-pioneer product will be subjected to what? Tax. I want to ask a question. You are given a pioneer product in same period to be producing textile in Nigeria. During the pioneer period, there is shortage of raw material for production of textile. You now decide that during that period, you are now importing textile. You are now importing textile. Now you are now importing textile that you are selling. Such kind of importation, is it a non-pioneer product or is it a pioneer product?
Sir, we didn't hear you clearly. Please, can you repeat the question?
During the pioneer products, during the pioneer period, you are given a certificate to be producing a textile. Your pioneer period is a textile. You want to be producing clothes, ready-made clothes. You understand? But 1 year after that, the material you are using to produce clothes is now material. For your company not to be redundant, now decide that, okay, since we cannot produce again, let's be importing. Let's be importing and selling. Let's be importing clothes and selling. That clothes that you are importing, that textile that you are importing, is it a pioneer product or a non-pioneer product?
So it's a non-pioneer product.
It's a non-pioneer product because you are given a certificate to be producing textile. You are not given a certificate to be importing. They cannot give a company certificate to be importing. Will importation increase our economy?
No, sir.
No. If you want to be given pioneer status, pioneer certificate, you will need to be producing. It is production that will increase our economy, that will make our foreign currency to appreciate. Do you understand? So, you that during pioneer period, that company is now importing that product that they are giving pioneer certificate. So that kind of importation will be subjected to tax. They will subject it to tax. Do you understand? They will subject it to tax. You are going to pay tax on it because it's not the pioneer product that you are giving certificate on. Another restriction under pioneer incentive. Another restriction under pioneer incentive is restriction on dividend distribution. Restriction on dividend distribution. Restriction on what? Dividend distribution. What this one is saying is you can only distribute dividends from the profits arising from the pioneer period, from the pioneer profits. Do you understand? You can only distribute dividends from pioneer profits. If you go and distribute dividends from retained profits, profit that you have retained and is coming in the pre-pioneer period, such dividend that you distribute, the shareholder is going to pay withholding tax on it. But the only dividend that the shareholder will not pay withholding tax on it is the dividend that you paid out from pioneer profit that arise during the pioneer period. That is what this restriction on dividend is saying. That is what this restriction on dividend is saying. Now, okay, Prosper, you want to ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You said during the pioneer period, if dividend is paid from retained earning, that the dividend should be taxed. So my question is, because I think Sir Krish taught us about ways to pay dividend, and he said when dividend is paid from retained earning, that is not taxable because he's assumed the profits retained has already been taxed. So I don't know if you can explain further on that, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. If dividends is paid from retained earning, that one does not mean it's not going to be subjected to tax. But the kind of tax you are going to be subjected to is frank investment income, final tax. Final tax. Do you understand? That was what Mr. Chris is saying. Final tax. It's not that dividend paid from retained earning is not going to be subjected to tax. Dividend paid from retained earning will be subjected to tax, but the tax is going to be final tax in the hand of the receiver. It's going to be treated as frank investment income. That is what they mean. Do you understand? It's going to be subjected to withholding tax, but that withholding tax will be referred as final tax.
All right, that's clear, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. List of pioneer products. What are the products? List of pioneer products. What are the products that if you are producing, you will be giving pioneer certificates? In the area of industry, we list them industry by industry. information communication technology, ICT. If you are publishing a book or you are producing a software, you are doing a programming, such kind of products we enjoy Pioneer certificate. If you are into telecommunication, MTN, Globacom, you can apply for Pioneer certificate. So those are the industry under information technology. Another industry, e-commerce too. E-commerce service can apply for Pioneer certificate. It's not necessarily only production company can apply for Pioneer certificates. Agricultural company that produce agri product can apply for Pioneer certificates. Manufacturing company, those are the major companies that apply for Pioneer certificates. Companies that manufacture goods, they are the major companies that apply for Pioneer certificate. So what are the manufacturing companies that can apply for Pioneer certificate? You are producing products. You are producing coffee, tea, animal feed. You are producing textile. You are producing fertilizer. You are producing sugar. You are producing fruit and juice. You are producing plastic. All sorts kind of products. They will enjoy Pioneer certificate. You are producing metals and steel. You are producing cement. You are producing motor vehicle or other equipment. Maybe you are producing a freezer, AC, washing machine, such kind of production, electrical equipment. They will also enjoy Pioneer certificates. So you can be asked, list 10 products that can enjoy Pioneer certificates. List 10 products that will enjoy Pioneer certificates. So please take note of that. So take note of Pioneer products. All these are Pioneer products. Ties too. Ties. If you are producing ties, it's a Pioneer product. Because most of the ties that we are using, they are German ties, Chinese ties. If you not see any company that want to produce ties in Nigeria, like Goodwill, that have started production of ties, some kind of company can apply for Pioneer status. So that is that. So let's look at practice question. Let's look at practice question. Practice question 1. Somebody should read for us. Practice question 1. So somebody should read for us. Yeah.
Metals Limited was granted a Pioneer certificate with its production. Okay, with its production day as 4th July 2018. The following information has been obtained from its record. So should I name the items?
Yes.
Accumulated profit as at 30th June 2021, 4,950,000. Capital expenditure incurred during the Pioneer period as satisfied by FIRS. Building, 2,400,000. Plant and machinery, 2,250,000. Furniture and fittings, 750,000. After the end of the Pioneer period, the company adopted 31st December as its year end, and the adjusted profit from the new trade were 6 months to 31st December 2022, 1,800,000. Year to 31st December 2022, 2,700,000. You are required to compute the tax liability of the company for the relevant years of assessment.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Emini tax. We want to compute the tax liability for the relevant year of assessment. What we need to ask ourselves now is, in this question, when does the pioneer certificate period start? When is the production date? 1st of July 2018, Abi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So, when will the pioneer status expire? It means 1st of July to 30th of June 2018, 1 year. 1st of July to 30th of June 2019, 1 year. 1st of July to 30th of June 2020, 2 years. 1st of July to 30th of June 2021 is what? 3 years.
3 years.
It means the pioneer period is going to run from 1st of July 2018 and end in when?
June 2021.
June
30th June
2021.
June 2021. The accumulated profits as at 30th of June 2021, it means the profit that they make during what?
The pioneer
During
period.
the pioneer period. The capital expenditure incurred during the pioneer period certified by FRS is as follows. After the end of the pioneer period, the company adopted what? 31st of December as at end of the accounting year, end of the year. And the adjusted profit from the new trade is given. This is post-pioneer period. We're now going to apply what? Commencement what? Rule. We are going to apply what? Commencement rule. For us to compute the tax liability for the post-pioneer period, we are going to apply what? Commencement rule. So, for the post-pioneer period, which year will be the first year of assessment? The first year of assessment will be what?
2019.
Post-pioneer period.
2020.
2020 what?
1st of July 2021.
Year of
2020.
assessment.
Okay.
Year of
2020.
assessment.
2020.
2022.
Following commencement, look at the accounting period, 31st of December. It means they started commencement. They will start commence business in when? Because the production ends when?
June
Production
2021.
June 2021. You understand? So it ends June 2021. And the profit that was given to us said 6 months to what?
To December 2022.
6 months
So
to
is that not
December.
2021?
No. 6 months to December 2021. Sorry.
Yes.
6 months to December 2020 what?
21.
2021. 6 months to December 2020 what? 1. It means it started from 1st of July 2021, Abi, to December 31st, 2021. So let me correct that. I'm coming. Let me correct that. This one is 2021. 2021. I've corrected. Can you see the correction? 2021. Now, let's go to calculation. Our year of assessment is going to, the first year of assessment is going to be, I'm coming, just give me like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, let me make some little correction. It's better I correct it now. Okay. Can you see the solutions now? Huh?
Yes, sir, we can see them.
So the basis period, the year of assessment, when we follow commencement through, is going to be 2022 year of assessment. Abi? Why the basis period is 1st of July 2021 to 31st of December. Sorry. To 31st of December 2022. 1st of July 2021 to 31st of December 2021. 1st of July 2021 to 31st of December 2021. So it means this basis period, 2021, 1st of July 2021 to 31st December 2021. This is the basis period. Adjusted profit for that period is 1.8. And when we look at it, capital allowance, that was capital expenditure that was incurred during the pioneer period is given. When are we going to assume this capital expenditure was incurred? When are we going to assume the capital?
From the
incurred
first
after the
that the capital expenditure was incurred in the first day of what? Post-pioneer period. So which day is the first day of post-pioneer period? Which day?
1st of July.
1st
of July 2021.
1st of July 2021 is the first day of the pioneer period. So, first and foremost, before we continue with our workings, we need to go and compute our capital allowance. Our capital allowance on all these assets. We need to compute our capital allowance. How do we compute our capital allowance? So I want to do the correction of that capital allowance because of the year of assessment. Okay, let's continue. So in our capital allowance, this is our capital allowance. This one, instead of 2023 year of assessment, is 2022 year of assessment. Abi? We have building, we have plant and machinery, we have motor vehicle, we have furnitures. Building is 2.4. Plant and machinery is 2,250,000. Motor vehicle 1.5. Furnitures 750. So we compute our initial allowance. Our initial allowance based on the percentage, 15%, this on 50%, this on 50%, this on 25%. We now compute our annual allowance. This our annual allowance is going to be based on basis period of the first year. It means this annual allowance, we cannot claim full annual allowance. We are going to claim for 6 months because in the solution, this basis period of this first year, 1st of July to 31st of December is how many months? Is 6 months. So that is the reason why our annual allowance will be based on 6 months. And we are going to claim investment allowance on plant and machinery, 10% of it. So that is how we get capital allowance in the first year of 3,040,125. So if we go to the computation now, we know that our adjusted profit is 1.8. Our capital allowance is 3,502,125. The capital allowance available is more than the profit. The capital allowance available is more than the profit. What do we do? Assuming Emini Tiles is a manufacturing company, a manufacturing company, we don't restrict capital allowance. Assuming Emini Tiles is not a manufacturing company, the capital allowance, we can restrict it to 2/3 of the adjusted profit. But since Emini Tiles is a manufacturing company, it means all this adjusted profit, we use it for capital allowance. That is the reason why under my capital allowance, look at the relief. I relieve 1.8 from my capital allowance. When I relieve 1.8 from my capital allowance, I have capital allowance that I will carry forward to next year, 1.702. I don't have any total profit again or taxable profit because I've used my capital allowance. I've used it. I've used this 1.8 for my capital allowance. Is there any profit again? No. Tax liability, CIT at 30%, nil. Education tax at 2.5%, 2.5% of adjusted profits, 2.5% of 1.8, it will give you 45,000. You can see that because Emini Tiles is a manufacturing company, we do not restrict this capital allowance to 2/3 of 1.8 so that there will be taxable profit. We use all the profit available to relieve the capital allowance. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now, we go to year 2023 year of assessment. Year 2023 year of assessment. In the year 2023 year of assessment, that one is 12 months. The basis period is 1st of January 2022 to 31st of December 2022. The adjusted profit is 2.7. Under the capital allowance, I will have capital allowance brought forward. I will have capital allowance what? Brought forward. The capital allowance brought forward is the capital allowance of last year, 1.702. I will brought it forward to this year. Good evening. Yes. So I will brought it forward. Now the capital allowance for that year, 2023 year of assessment, is 989,250. How do I get that? If you go to my capital allowance computation, annual allowance in the second year, this annual allowance is for the whole full year. I know that 6 months is 102. 1 year will be 204. This annual allowance in the second year, which is year 2023 year of assessment, please ignore this 2024, it's 2023. It's going to be 204. So I get 785,250. So by that, my capital allowance in the second year of assessment My capital allowance is 785,250. Please, I'm coming. I'm trying to check some correction. Please, ladies and gentlemen, this is my capital allowance because of Excel. It has changed. My capital allowance because of Excel, it has changed. So that is what I'm trying to check. I'm sorry for that. Because of Excel, it has changed. My capital allowance in the first year, let me do the correction. Three oh four one two five. 30425. This one is 785,250. 785,250. 785. 785,250. So in my first year, my capital allowance in my first year, my capital allowance is 304,125, which is the same thing as this, 304,125. So that is my capital allowance. So my capital allowance carried forward is 1240125. 1240125. This is my capital allowance carried forward to 2023 year of assessment. My capital allowance for the year, for the 2023 year of assessment, is 785,250. 785,250. So when you add the two together, it's going to give you 2,025,375. It is the relief, because in this year, second year, we have enough profit. It means these two capital allowance, we are going to relieve all of them. Since there is enough profit, we are going to relieve all of them. Assuming this company is not a manufacturing company, we will restrict to 2/3 of 2.7. But we cannot restrict because it's a manufacturing company. We use all the capital allowance. So when you add 1,240,125 plus 785,250, it will give you 2,025,375. So you don't have any capital allowance you carry forward again. So if you minus your capital allowance from your adjusted profit, you are going to get a taxable profit of 674,625. Your taxable profit. Now your CIT, 30% of 674,625. Your education tax, 2.5% of 2.7. You get this. So that is it on this question. So do you have any query, any observation here? So I will send the correct copy, revised version of this note to the class.
I have a question, sir.
Okay.
So, in the first year, right, the company did not declare any profit. Are they not meant to pay minimum tax?
They did not declare any profits.
Yes, after deduction of the capital
They
allowance.
will not pay minimum tax because we apply commencement rule for them. Abi? Is it not?
Yes, sir, it is.
One of the companies that is exempted from paying minimum tax is a new company, all new company in their first 4 years of what? Operation. Agricultural company is exempted from payment of minimum tax. A company with at least 25% imported equity, they are exempted from paying minimum tax. A company that their turnover is less than 25 million, they are exempted from paying what? Minimum tax. So if we are asked, list the 4 exemption of minimum tax or 5 exemption of minimum tax, you let them know. A new company in their first 4 years of operation. Agricultural company, number 2. A company with at least 25%. A company in which their turnover is less than 25 million. Those are the companies that they are exempted from paying minimum tax. So by virtue of that, this company cannot pay minimum tax because they are a new company now. We are applying commencement rule for them. So in their first 4 years of operation, they will not pay minimum tax. So please hope your answer is I've answered you correctly.
Yes, sir, you have. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So this is on the question on number 1. Let's go and look at question 3 so that we go for today. We will still continue Pioneer in our next lecture. Have we done corporate tax incentive? Corporate tax incentive and foreign direct investment.
Yes, sir, we have.
We have done the topic.
Yes, sir.
That talk about type of incentive.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's go and look at question 3. Question 3. Broadway Limited was incorporated on 31st of May 2017 as a manufacturer of what? Plastic products. 4 of the shareholders of the company, who are Lebanese, decided to invest substantially with the aim of becoming member of the board of directors. The promoter decided to apply pioneer status within the provision of industrial development income tax relief at Cap 17, LFN 2004. The company was granted a pioneer status certificate with a production date certified as what? 1st of August 2016. The following information has been extracted from the company records. Net profit for the year, for the period ended. Net profit for what? The period ended 31st of July 2023. Depreciation. The Federal Inland Revenue certified the following expenditure up to and include year 2029. Industrial building, non-industrial building, plant and machinery, motor vehicle. The promoter of Broadway has declined to apply for extension of pioneer certificates. You are required to advise the management on tax implication for the relevant year of assessment. Now, this is a question. In this question, we are giving a net profit and we are now giving depreciation. The first thing for us to do is to do what? Compute what? What do we need to compute first?
Adjusted profit.
Adjusted profits. We need to adjust the profits. It's our first working note. We compute adjusted profits. Adjusted profits. So my first working note is computation of adjusted profit by adding the net depreciation back to the net profit so that it become what? Adjusted profit. Second question I want to ask is, they are telling us that the net profit for the period ended, they are not saying for the year ended, 31st of July 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, when do you think this net profit started? Because it's a period ended, it means it's more than a year or less than a year. So when do you think it started?
After the pioneer period.
After the pioneer period?
That's the first day. That's the
After
first day after the pioneer period to this
the pioneer
financial
period.
level.
Yes. The question is, if we say it started after the pioneer period, why they did not give us the profit of the pioneer period? Why they did not give us the profit of what? The pioneer period. Ladies and gentlemen, these profits started in the first day of what? Of the pioneer period, which is the production day, 1st of August 2016. So this profit includes pioneer period profits. It also includes profit afterwards, the pioneer period. What we need to know, the pioneer period profit is going to be 1st of August 2016 to 31st of July 2017. That is 1 year. Abi?
Yes.
Do you understand? Second year, 2017 to 2018. Second year. 2018 to 2019. Third year. It means the pioneer period is going to expire when?
2019.
Which time in 2019?
July 31st.
2019. So out of these profits, how many years belong to the pioneer period? 3 years.
Yeah.
The 3 years of the pioneer period belong to here. Why? From 1st of August 2019 is the post-pioneer period. Do you understand? Now, let's go to the question now. We are asked to compute tax liability. We only compute tax liability for what? For the post-pioneer period. For the what? Post-pioneer period. So if you look at my workings, I said in this, what you need to do if you want to get this question very well, you ask yourself, how many years profit is this profit? How many years profit is this profit? If I said it started 1st of August 2016, one will end in 2017, 1 year. 2018, 2 years. Abi? 2019, 3 years. 2020, 4 years. 2021, 5 years.
Yes.
2022,
6,
6 years. While 2023 will be what?
7 years.
7 years. Twenty 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 7 years adjusted profit. So this adjusted profit of 7 years, what do I do with it? For me to get profit for each of the year, this is my adjusted profit. Where is the adjusted profit? The adjusted profit I computed, which is 25,501,435. I'm going to divide it by how many years? This adjusted
7 years.
profit, 7 years. So if we divide it by 7 years, please, somebody should divide it. What do we get?
I can't see that bulk figure again.
Okay, the bulk figure.
Okay.
25.
$3.643062 million.
Every year, the profit will remain the same for the 7 years, Abi.
Yes.
So the profit of the pioneer period, 3 years, 2017, 2018, 2019, you can see is the same amount. Abi,
Yes.
this is the pioneer period profit. And we know that pioneer period profit, we let them know that the total profit arising from pioneer period will be what? Will be what? Exempted from what?
Exempted from tax.
Can you see that? Can you see the profit? It means this profit for pioneer period will be exempted from tax. Now let's go to the post-pioneer period. For the post-pioneer period, the post-pioneer period is going to start since pioneer end in 31st of July 2019. The post-pioneer period is going to start in 31st of July 2019. And they maintain the same accounting year. 31st of is going to start in 1st of August 2019 to 31st of July 2020. The adjusted profit is this, the same amount. Capital allowance, The capital allowance is 8 million something. We minus the adjusted profit because we have enough capital allowance and they are manufacturing company. We use all the adjusted profit to relieve capital allowance. In that year, in the first year, there will not be profit. So tax liability, CIT is going to be 0. But education tax, because it's 2021, is going to be 2%. Because it's 2021 year of assessment, it's going to be how many percent? 2%.
2%.
2% of adjusted profit. Do you understand?
Yes.
Year 2022 year of assessment, second year of the post-pioneer period, 1st of August 2020 to 31st of July 2021. The same profit, capital allowance that we brought forward, which is the last year capital allowance, 4399, we brought it forward. The capital allowance for the year, we still have enough capital allowance. That means this profit, this 3 million profit, we are still going to relieve it again. Everything. There will not be taxable profits. Our tax liability, CIT, 0. But education tax now, because it's 2022 year of assessment, it will change to how many percent?
2.5.
2.5. 2022 year of assessment, 2023 year of assessment, education tax rate is 2.5. 2024 year of assessment, what will be the rate?
3%.
Okay. So we move to 2023 year of assessment. The adjusted profits, the same amount. Capital allowance, the capital allowance that we brought forward. The capital allowance for the year. The amount we relieve. We still have enough profit, enough capital allowance. So there will not be taxable profit in the 3rd year of the post-pioneer again. Education tax, 2.5. We carry this 8.3 million to the 4th year. The 4th year, 2022, 2024 year of assessment, 1st of August 2022 to 31st of July 2023. The adjusted profit, but the capital allowance we carry forward. The capital allowance for the year. But relief, since we have enough, the capital allowance that we have, if we add 2 of them together, is lower than the adjusted profit. So we are going to add the 2 of them together. It's going to give us 2.702. We minus it from the adjusted profit. We don't have any capital allowance that we carry forward again. But our taxable profit will be 9.40468. So we compute our tax liability. So the 4th year is the last year of assessment. That is how we get. But the question, all this one, they are appendix, they are working notes. The question said, what is the requirement of the question?
Advice.
Advice. When they say advice, what do? You write what? Report. You write what? Report. Your calculation that you are doing is appendix. You write report. Look at my reports. The managing director, Broadway Nigeria Limited. I write date. Dear sir, advice on pioneer status. Because you said you should advise them on the implication. You can say this heading, you can say tax implication of pioneer status. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
With refer to your letter, with refer to your request on the above subject matter, we'd like to comment as follows. We will now be addressing one by one. You tell them, with the certification of August 1st, 2004 as the production date, there will be no extension. The pioneer period shall be from the first point you need to let them know. You need to let them know when does the pioneer period run. With the certification of 1st of August 2016. This one is 2016, sorry, not 2004, 2016. 1st of August 2016. The pioneer period will start in 1st of August 2016 and end in when? 31st of July 2016. 2019, sorry. You also let them know in your write-up, profit made during the pioneer period is going to be what?
Exempted from tax.
Because they say you should advise them on tax implication of pioneer period. Pioneer. Let them know loss made during the pioneer period can be carried forward to where?
Post-pioneer period.
To the post-pioneer period. Qualified capital expenditure incurred or acquired during the pioneer period are eligible for capital allowance afterwards. The pioneer period, which is the post-pioneer period. Profit of the post-pioneer period is deemed to have commenced immediately after the pioneer period. Therefore, commencement rule will apply. You first of all tell them the tax implication before you move to that company. As a manufacturing company, this company we are doing, they are manufacturing company. There will not be restriction on what? Restriction of what?
Capital allowance.
Capital allowance. That is a tax implication on its own too. Based on the information provided and applying commencement rule, you now tell them, the tertiary education tax is payable on the accessible profit as follows. They will pay tertiary education for the post-pioneer period. Abi? After absorbing the capital allowance, they will pay an income tax in the last year of the pioneer period, in the post-pioneer period, after they have absorbed the capital allowance. Abi? It means for this year, they don't have capital allowance again in the last year. They have used all their capital allowance. Abi? They have a taxable profit of 940. Abi? It is then that they will pay company income tax. And the company income tax that they will pay is 282,140. They will pay company income tax of 282,140 in the year 2024 year of assessment. 282,140. In 2024 tax year. We let them know that for all the year of the post-pioneer period, they pay education tax. But only 1 year that they pay company income tax, because after they have absorbed the capital allowance. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Please note, tax authority will carry out post-pioneer audit. Period of the company. The FRS is required to certify the qualified capital expenditure acquired during the pioneer period. Please refer to us for further clarification. Finish. This is what the examiner wants. This is what the examiner wants. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can stop here. So, By next time, we also solve one or two questions on this pioneer and we move to the next topic by God's grace. Any question, any issue, any observation?
Okay. Please, you didn't walk us through the capital allowance computation for this question.
Okay. Okay. Look at the capital allowance. They acquired the capital allowance during the year ended 31st of July 2019. They said the capital allowance certified up to including. What they are saying is this capital allowance, they acquired it during the pioneer period. We are going to assume it was acquired in the first day of pioneer period. Which day is the first day of pioneer period? 1st of August 2019.
Okay.
Do you understand? And we know what are the capital allowance we have? Industrial building, non-industrial building, plant and machinery, motor vehicle. You divide it. You divide it. Industrial building, non-industrial building, plant and machinery, motor vehicle. Year 2021. Because it's 12 months. The basis period is 12 months. So we don't need to prorate any more. You calculate your initial allowance, 15%, 15%, 50%, 50%. Your annual allowance, 10% for building, 25% motor vehicle, plant and machinery, 25%. And you get your investment allowance, 10% of plant and machinery. So your
Okay,
capital
please, this annual allowance for the 2021 tax year, is it not prorated?
is not prorated because the basis period is 12 months. The basis period in 2021 tax year, 1st of August 2019 to what? 31st of July. The accounting year end of the company is 31st of July.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So it's not prorated.
Okay.
So once you get the annual allowance you use in the first year is the same thing you use in second year because it's not prorated. It's the same thing you use in third year and it's the same thing you use in fourth year. Hope you understand.
Okay.
So any question again?
Hello, sir. Sorry.
Yes.
Based on that report, you
Yes.
said it's only in 2024 they'll pay tax since other years showed no tax
They will pay
payable.
what?
It's only in
What tax?
2024 they'll pay income tax.
Company income tax. Yes.
So I was thinking that since for education tax, since we stated that they were going to pay education tax for 2021 to 2024, then income tax will also state that there was no tax payable for 2021.
You can state it. You can state it's report. Yes. The way you write your report will not be the same with my own. This is my own. Your own may be more interested than my own. You put more points, you need more marks. But anytime you are writing a report on pioneer status, you need to let them know that profit from the pioneer period is exempted from tax. You need to let them know that capital allowance incurred during the pioneer period will be assumed to be incurred in the first day of the pioneer period. You need to let them know that loss incurred or made during the pioneer period will be carried forward and relieved in the post-pioneer period. Do you understand?
Yes, on the available profit.
Yes, and you need to let them know that commencement through is going to apply to the post-pioneer period. Anytime you are writing report on pioneer, you get mark. Is tax implication. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So any other one? Any other one? Any other one? So in the absence of no other one, let's call it a day. So by God's grace, we meet next time. Thank you very much.
Sir, please, can
Thank
you
you, sir.
share the solution to the group?
I will send it. I will resend it. Don't worry. I will resend it. I will resend
Okay,
it.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Yeah.